Hello everyone, this is Jaya for the session of digitalization with an interesting study and learning about what are the aspects of the digitalization in today's world. So, today we are going to our first slide where there is a scenario where there are two friends whose name is Bob and David. And these friends have the owners of their own business, which is tours and travel. But in this business, Bob is earning less, whereas David is earning more. And the reason is why David is earning more. Because David is earning more because he's using a digitalization method for his business, as well as he's completing all the complaint, request, query of the customers very quickly, very instantly. And that is why he's getting more and more business every day. Whereas Bob is doing the job in a physical manner where he is taking all the complaint requests and it is all doing in a physical manner where it is taking a lot of time. And in today's world, the customers doesn't want to wait for their service to be completed. They want an instant resolution for their request. So that is why Bob is struggling in his business, whereas David is running his business a very smooth way. Now, we understand there are two methods, that is a traditional method and a digital method. But traditional method is a time consuming in a simple words, whereas digital method is giving more and more advantages while running a business module on an online platform. So my second slide comprises the difference between the traditional versus digital method. So what do we have in a traditional method? Traditional method have a more manpower is used, more time consumption is there, then there is a very high costing is there, a very slow processing, and the chances of errors is very high. So in today's world, these things the customers really don't want it. They want very instant. So when we read about the points about digital method, it is like it is a less manpower is involved. There is a less time consumption is there. The costing is very low, faster processing and more accuracy. So what the people want, if we see in the accuracy for both the things, for the business point of view as well as for the consumer point of view, because everyone wants a faster processing and it should be in a more accurate manner with the low costing part. But in a traditional method, when we use all these things, these points come with it because more and more manpower is involved, time consumption is very high, the costing is very high, but the processing is very slow. That is the reason the consumers doesn't want the traditional method, or the business people who are running their business on an online platform, they don't want their consumers to wait for the service to be completed. That's the reason in today's world digital method is really important for us while we are applying in a domestic life or whether we are applying in a business life. My second slide comprises of the definition of digitalization. So when we are talking about digitalization, it comprises of four pillars. It comprises of technology, it comprises of data, then the process, and then the organizational change. So when we are talking about technology, so what does the technology do? Technology always creates or modify what the existing technology is running in that business model. So when it increases, if it makes a new or it is making modifying in that technology, it makes an effective and transparent for both the business as well as for the consumers. Secondly, the data. So when we are talking about the data, so data is about your brand, about your company, about your product, and this can be done online platform. You can compile all the entire data, and that makes you to understand where your actual product is standing, because you have to do an analysis for the data for your product, for your brand, so you will understand very clearly what the consumer needs from your product and what else you can improvise it. That is what actually the data is for the brand or the product when we are talking about. Third pillar comprises of the process. when we talk about the process. So this automation process, when we apply it in our business module, it simplifies the complexity which we are having in our business module. Whatever the activities it is having in a business module, it simplifies it. So when it is simplifies it, so it makes it more effective, it makes it more transparent for the consumers, because in today's world the consumer want everything to be an easy, user friendly, and it should not be like difficult to finding any product on the website or an app if I'm talking about. So this process makes or simplifies the process in the business module. Last but not the least, the organizational change. When we are talking about an organizational change, so when these three pillars comes, technology, data, process. So now after these three steps, you understand what actually customer requires from you, what he requires, what improvisation he requires from your product. So when you understand that need, that demand of the consumers, so you have to put a lot of pressure in your organizational change to make that happen, to make or to meet the demand of the customers which they require from your brand or your product or your company. So that is what digitalization is. So if these four pillars are there on an online platform, that makes the entire definition of digitalization. Now we come to the next slide, which shows about the importance of digitalization in a business model. So when we are talking about the importance, so importance come into a 3 points. You can say it a bullet point, or you can say it as a main point. So digitalization increases the efficiency, means the accuracy in whatever the process you're following a tours and travel business, or you're following the process of a printing press, or you're following a process of a supermarket or anything, even renting the bicycles, or you have an agency for centers and all those things. So if digitalization always increases efficiency and transparency, and the accuracy is there when you are talking about the business. So if the digital tool is over there, so it is, you can understand the efficiency is a default part in it. You can increase more and more efficiency to it, and it makes your business smooth, and it makes you a really transparent for the consumers. Second point is the question which comes when you keep all the data, whatever it is a market analysis or any document which comprises is about your product, about your brand, about your company. If it is saved on an online platform, it is very safe and secure. Why? Because when you're putting it in a physical manner, there is a chances that it can be lost, it can be stolen, it can be corrupted, it can be anything. You have to start it from the scratch. But when you're talking about a digital tool while saving all the data on an online platform, it makes it really easy that you can fix all those things on an online platform, and you can get better and better results. You don't have to worry about that your documents are lost or something, because you can fix it, you can retrieve it. But in a physical manner, you can't do those things, because it's really difficult, because when you have to start from the scratch. But here in a digital tool, when it is lost or stolen or whatever the reasons are, you can retrieve those data. So these 2 points comprises of the importance why digital tool is really important in a business module. Third point which I want to talk about is the retention of the customers. When we talk about the retention of the customer, what comes in our mind is whenever the customer is approaching to your website or an app, the customer always have a mind that if he or she buys a product or anything, if he has some problem, so how it will be solved. So everybody has a point of view that there should be a good support system to that particular website or an app. So when that the customer is facing any issues with the app or a website or with the product, so what comes in the mind that the representative of that particular website or an app should be really proactive, should be listen to the query of the customer and try to resolve instantly. So if these things happen, the customer will always be happy. Even in my case, if I am talking about myself, if I'm getting a good support in a particular app on a website, I'll be really happy. And I'll always try to tell others, okay, you can also try this website for this particular brand or a product. So if you are getting more and more support from there, you will be really happy. And whereas in a one point it helps a customer, but in a second way it helps a business as well. Why? While retaining all the potential customers for your website, it makes it easier that the customer will recommend your website to the other people. And in on the other hand, your business will grow and your customer base will also be grow. So that is the reason why digital tool is really important, and these three factors are really important to improve the efficiency more and more, to improvise everything in your product. Secondly, all the data which is on an online platform is secured, and the last part is the retention of the customer, which you all agree with it. Because the customer, if there are no customers, you can't run your business so smoothly. But when you're doing it on an online platform, it makes it easy. You are giving all the facility, you are giving all the support what consumer need from you, then your business will flourish in that point of time. Now it comes of an example of digitalization. I would suggest that in an example of digitalization, it can be anything. It can be email marketing, it can be smartwatch, it can be a laptop, it can be a Wi-Fi, anything comes. But when you're talking about an email marketing, so if you want to market about your product or your brand, so digitalization is a tool where you can put it on a social media pages, you can even email it, you can do anything when you want to market your brand or a product, and that makes it really easy. That is one of the examples I can say, quote on it. Or we can say about the signature as well. You can do this digital signatures as well. You can fill up the forms online, which makes you easier to make that process, further process really faster, make it in an accuracy way, and that makes the consumer happy when everything is coming at your doorstep. So that is what we call a digital tool is an important ingredient in our business model. As we have discussed in the other slides, that what is digitalization, what is the importance, what is the examples. So now there are some points which sum up the entire digitalization. First is the time saving, which you all agree when we are talking about time saving, whenever we are trying to finding any type of a product or anything, you can sit in any place and try to find out. You don't have to go here and there. Second, in a hand in hand cost saving, because when you're saving that time, you are saving the cost also. And how is it possible? Why? Because you're not traveling from one place to another to get that product for purchasing. Third, when you are doing it all online, there is an accuracy and there is an efficiency while you are purchasing, while you're doing any the seeing the product of the particular brand. Easy distribution means when you try to make it understand what is your entire product, or what are the advantages of the product, or what are the ingredients of the product, what is the main point which has come to your mind, that is that if I can float that message on social media, so you can attract more and more people. Instead, if you're doing in a physical manner, you can't get more than two or three people, but in an online platform you can go through it in social media way where you can attract more and more people. The second last point is secure, which I talk about the data, whatever you compile, whatever you do with the analysis, whatever you do with the data, it is all secure, whatever the documents. It's not about the data, it's each and everything about your company, about your brand, about your product. You will keep it safe. It is secured. If it is lost, you can just retrieve it. Last is the retention of the customers, where if you retain those customers, you get all your profits and you make your business flourish. So these are the advantages which sum up the entire digital tool while we are using on an online business module. Last, with the this digitalization topic, I'll comprise it with a case study, which is really interesting. Today's case study is based on my question would be, do you people like the magazines? You all people like magazines because there are different things in those magazines. You have different information about those magazines, which you all like about it because you get all type of informations over there, and you agree with that when I'm talking about it. So when we are talking about the magazine, so what is one tool which comes, yeah, I can say how it can track the real time data for your magazine campaigns, or anything, any information about your product or anything in the magazine. So what is that answer for this tool? So that tool will be, that simple solution would be QR code. Why? Because there it is a massive advantages when we are doing a marketing campaign in the magazine itself. So that is the reason why we called the QR code is really important in every phase of the business model. I'm not selling QR code. I'm just telling what is the importance while we are applying that QR code, whether it is in a magazine, whether it is in an education, whether it is in a Wi-Fi, whether it is anything, where QR code is really, really important for us. So in magazine also, when the people are trying to take a subscription, when we are trying to get through some details, or when we are trying to track down the data, how many people are taking that particular magazine of yours. So the QR code is a main thing or a main solution that bridge it between them, and you can get all the data regarding to it. So my next question comes, why your magazine ad needs a QR code? Why it is required? You all have this question in your mind, why you want to put a QR code on a magazine cover, why you want that it should be there. So my answer is, if you're interested to giving a print, or wondering how can you improve your current magazine, this is a question which always come, why your magazine needs that QR code. It is, many people think about to improve your magazine subscription, or make it interesting in the strategy of the marketing of that particular magazine. So the solution for this is a QR code. When you put that QR code in your magazine cover, or whatever your information is in that, you can get all type of information in that magazine by scanning that QR code, and that is a tool that makes helpful to track the real time data for it. And you all know, because nowadays many people do it a digital way, many people take in a physical manner, because whether they are traveling, whether they are doing these things, so that makes a bit easier to make it happen. While if you're having that physical manner, the magazine with you can scan it, you can get the details about the product, the people who are printing their ads over there. Many people, the magazine is your product, but other people are also printing their ads, also giving it, so that the people should scan it, and it is helpful for both, for the consumers as well as for the business. So third question comes around, how the QR code can be used in a magazine. So what does come in your mind when, if I am having a magazine, and uh, I want some, I'm reading the magazine, and I get something, a product to read about. So that is not much content is written in the magazine. So there is a given a QR code. The person has given into that particular ad. So you can do one thing in that particular small image. You can give a complete product information so that the customer would understand ki, what is that product about, what is he talking about, what is that company about, so he can ensure that it is a transparent what he's reading or what is in the QR code. That will be the understanding of the consumer will be easy by this QR code, because many people do it in a magazine. There are a lot of ads, and in today's world sometimes it is like the people just print the ad and we just get a one liner, okay, this website gives a coffee machine in it, but do you understand what type of a coffee machine he is giving, or what type of a product we can use, or what are the services, anything you can get? No. But by scanning that, if you're giving that scanning and putting a few words on the magazine for your product, and if the person is scanning, he can get the entire knowledge. That means, in a simple words, it is transparent to both the business as well as the consumers. So the advertising part should be a better, and in the digital world, it becomes more and more improvising, more and more digitally, because the advertisement nowadays making it the content small, but by scanning the QR code, you're getting the entire information about your magazine, about your product. So it helps in both ways. So when you are in a magazine business, so how would you attract, the question which comes to your mind, that how would you attract the consumers to take that magazine subscription? So in my mind, if I have to take a one example for it, I'll take it. Okay, if I get a lifestyle as a magazine, I'm taking a very normal name because I don't know it's there or not, but there are some magazines like Reader Digest is there. So if I want a subscription, what would come in my mind? That okay, if I want to get, because there are good information, there are many things I can learn about in that particular magazine or something. So in that, if I take a subscription for 1 year, what benefit I'm getting? It is in the mind of the consumers. It is in whatever the product he's taking. So you also understand when you have to increase your business. So the coupon and discount is a one point where you can attract those consumers. Even I'll be also attracted, because when I'm talking about, if I want to take some magazine for myself for a 1 year subscription, I'm taking for a geographical, National Geographic magazine. So if I'm getting a good discount or a coupon in that, I would be happy in taking that subscription, because that is a hassle free. I take it online. The person, I can make it happen. Like in every month, I can get one magazine, or in a 1 week's time, I should get one magazine. So if these things are done it online with this coupon and discount, that makes your business more flourish, more increasing. Why? Because the consumer is happy and the consumer is not facing any issues. And if they are facing it, if they are having that support from your magazine product, so he'll be happy, he'll be subscribing more and more, he even recommend this thing. So these things come in hand when we are talking about a digital tool. So when all these things comprises of, when he is getting all the product information, and you are getting each and everything, the information, coupon, discounts, the material, what he's doing, he's taking the subscription. So when he's taking the entire thing, so the one point which comes into the mind is a feedback. You all have it. Every business have that point of view, that even not in a business life, I can talk about the normal people, because whenever they purchase a product, many people just give their reviews about the product. When they are going to chat to the representative, they always give the feedback. Sometimes they are not given a form or something to the people, but when you are selling your maxi, you're selling each and everything, so you always have a point in a mind, okay, 1 month is completed, I should give a feedback form to the consumer. So he'll understand ki why he's how he's liking our service, whether he's happy or not, whether he is enjoying that subscription or not, whether it is hassle free or not. So these things always come to your mind while you're interacting with your consumer. So that is the main thing or a main component when you are advertising your magazine, with each and every definition, with each and every advertisement. But you want a feedback from the consumer whether he's liking your service or not. So feedback is really important for each and every business. I'm not talking about one business, I'm talking about each and every, whether it's a travel tourism, whether it is a library, whether it is an education, whether it is any industry. You need that feedback so that you can improvise more and more your brand, your product, to make it happen according to the consumer needs. And the most important thing which comes into the mind is when you are taking that feedback, or else you're trying to make that business more flourishable. So, one thing I would suggest, whenever you are giving that website to take a subscription, the consumer is taking a subscription, always try to add your social media pages so that you can increase your traffic of the consumers to visit your social media pages. They'll understand what are your activities of going through. It can be interesting for the consumers. They can understand, okay, this magazine is running a campaign, or this magazine is doing some activities which really interest my hobbies or something. So you need to add those social media pages with your website so that the consumer always see it, because everybody wants extra knowledge about what he's buying it. So whether it is a magazine, it's a small thing, but each and every person wants the information about entirely what is that magazine about, what is that company who's printing it, whether they are good in that or not, or whether they have good followers or not. So these things always come when you are taking the feedback, and attach those social media pages with it so that it will make it more and more easy. So when you are doing this, so one point which comes to my mind, that you need to enhance when you want to gather all the information. So I would suggest, when you want to improvise, enhance the reader's experience. You get the feedback, okay? The question comes when you get that feedback from the consumers. You should enhance more and more. How do we do? So we write a large chunk of content, what all products or whatever it is. No, you can put it as in a small, but you can put it in a pictures, you can put it in a graphics, you can put it in such a way that you can attract those consumers. Okay, this magazine is good. I'm getting a little bit content, but I'm getting all the information in a QR code. It is highly described by infographics, it is described by an image. I can understand what is the particular. It can be used for estate, it can be used for coffee, it can be used for education. Many ads, many content are there about it in the magazine, the entire thing. So whatever the consumer need, you can improvise each and every time. And how you will do all these things? By gathering that feedback, which is more and more important. And you will understand, when you do all the analysis, you will understand how much your people are liking your magazine, how much they are liking the content of the magazine. Because you can print the magazine many things. You can quote all the fashion trends, you can quote about all the latest trends. So this is a digital tool where you can make it happen. You can increase your business by using a simple QR code to all it, so that you can make it flourish. That's the only reason. When we are talking, magazine is a small thing. Physically many people don't take it, but in a digitally many people take the subscription. And they always try to have, okay, this magazine should have a good content that interests me, because many people like it in that perspective. Because if the people are the genuine readers, they will always try to find good content, try to find it. And QR code makes it really simple to it. So I'm representing UX Living Lab, where we are a company of market research consultant, where we continuously work around for the customer feedback through the QR code to grow your business. We also try to get more and more insights from the customer so that we can make you understand where your actual product is. That's what we are. The case study which I was taking is a magazine with a QR code. It is related to our company, but it relates in a QR code where earlier also I told the QR code is a tool. I'm not talking about selling. I'm not talking about anything. QR code is only enhancing your business. It is only enhancing to get the customer feedback. It is only enhancing to make your business flourish. So what we do, we make, after taking the customer feedbacks through a QR code, we try to get the insight. We try to get uh, analysis. We do the gap analysis. What are we do, what the consumer want from your product or your brand. So we try to understand what the consumer needs from your brand or the company. After that, we make a qualitative and quantitative report for you so that you can understand better in such a way that where your brand and company is standing in today's market situation. So that's what we do. And it's really easy when we are talking about my company. You have to just register it. You will create a QR code if you want to understand what is the company about and how it works. You can get it through it. Even I'll be sharing all these the QR code. You will get the site. You'll understand what is all we are doing. We are trying to make you things better for your business. We'll try to get you more and more insight, more and more feedback through the QR code, and make you understand how you can improvise. We can give you the strategy. We can try to make you, give you the ideas that you can make your product more and more good for your consumers. So that is the main thing in today's world. Customer feedback is the main point when we are running an online business platform. So you all agree to it, because QR code is a new ingredient, or you can say the main component, where when we are using a digital business, and this QR code helps many things in such a way. In education, it plays a vital role. In fashion designing, if you want to understand a product, whatever the clothing you are buying, by scanning through QR code, you get to know about that product. Even when you are buying or renting a house, you can get through scanning, you can get all the detail. Even virtual business cards are there with a QR code, where it is automatically saved in your Android phone. So this is what the QR code does. But mainly what we do is a market research. We try to understand the people's inside. We try to understand the people, what they want about their product, and what qualities or what ingredients you want to add in your brand and product, which makes it good for them. So this is what we do. So I'll be putting a calendar link in the Facebook comment section, where you can post your comments. You can, if you want any questions, you can put it up there. Even you can book an appointment with us if you want to know about your features, about our products, or about the pricing, about anything. So we can get in touch with you through this simple QR code. You don't have to stand in a queue to wait for your time or your service to be completed. As soon as you book an appointment about your time, or about whatever day you are free, we can give you immediate call with that, and we'll try to help you out, whatever your query, complaint, and request are there. So this is all about my company, which I'm representing. It is uxlivinglab.com. Secondly, I think I have explained my case study, which is on a maxi. It's a I think it was unique. Nowadays, the people don't use it. But if you are running a business with a magazine and a digital magazine, you can put a QR code and you can get a better result. You can enhance the reader experience. You can even give the coupons and discount. You can have more and more ads with this QR code so that the person should get more and more information. You should write a more good content about it. Should be about education, it should be lifestyle, it should be trends, it should be anything, so that it makes your magazines more and more popular. Try to get in social media pages where you can float the information about your magazine that makes it more and more easy to grab more and more customers for your subscription for the magazines. So this is all about through a simple QR code which helps to flourish the business. I hope you will like the session. You have taken, I thank you very much. I appreciate your time that you have taken out for me to listen to my this session with the digitalization and the topic with the interesting case study, which was on magazines with the QR code. If you have any doubts, if you have any query related to it, please message me on the Facebook so that we can able to help you out in any of the queries. So this is for our, this is a session today. Thank you so much for joining us.